You've seen the thumbnail, it's finally happening, and Microsoft has clearly indicated that the hybrid route is where they want to go. And though Ronald is talking about handhelds, it's clear that what they want to do is make this interchangeable so both platforms can benefit from it. This means that this new strategy will mean that the consoles are more than likely going to follow the same route. Yesterday at CES, Ronald, among other panelists, including those from Valve, sat down and talked about handheld gaming and where Xbox was going in general, as well as other matters within the handheld industry. Valve also reiterated yet again that a Steam Deck 2 is in the plans. Of course, we've known this for a year, but the media's going crazy about that already. But the important thing here is, of course, the news about Xbox and Windows finally coming together, and this has been in the works for quite some time. But first, let's have the drop. So before I get into the main news, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to yesterday because it was my first stream back and it was actually awesome. Barring one person who decided to be really nasty, it was actually a really good stream. So thanks so much for everyone that turned up and making it an amazing stream. You're all the best. But as it goes from here, Tom Warren says Microsoft says it's combining the best of Xbox and Windows together. For handheld gaming PCs, Xbox VP of Next Gen Ronald says Microsoft will put Xbox at the center, not the Windows desktop that you have today. And so we have that information over here, which we are now going to go through. Yes, I do not understand why everyone insists on having a white background. It is nasty, no one likes it, no one wants it, go away. But it's not going away. So as you can see here, Ronald says, we've been really innovating for a long time in the console space, and as we partner across the industry, it's really about how do we bring those innovations that we've incubated and developed in the console space and bring them to PC and bring them to the handheld gaming space. Now obviously Microsoft's aim is to create a seamless ecosystem with a seamless UI between console, PC and handheld, so no matter where you're playing, it's a familiar ground, so you're not actually going to be, oh man, this looks different or that looks different. And currently the Windows experience just isn't good enough, especially without any trackpads, and the handheld devices today don't really come with them outside of the Steam Deck, which is something that confuses me to this day because it is so handy if you've ever used one. But they say after we caught up with him after the event, he confirmed that Microsoft is looking at combining Xbox and Windows experiences together and that we should see changes this very year rather than needing to wait for an Xbox handheld. That means that Windows 11 could be seeing that update this very year, as well as other handhelds seeing that update as well. That is the key point here. I would say it's bringing the best of Xbox. I mean, this could be talking about, velocity architecture, direct storage. We're looking at quick resume and, all of this stuff. Because we have spent the last 20 years building a world-class operating system, but it's really locked to the console. What we're doing is we're really focused on how do we bring those experiences for both players and developers to broader Windows ecosystem. And now for those of you that don't know, Xbox's OS is pretty much built on Windows anyway, so transitioning it from where it's at right now with the new Series OS to Windows wouldn't really be that much effort. Optimization would be needed and compatibility, but the bulk of the work essentially is done. Now, as Tom Warren says, Windows sucks on handhelds, to put it rather bluntly, to the point that a community-created fork of Valve's Steam OS experience can be far better, although that means if it's running on a Linux operating system, you just don't get the freedom that Windows gives. And though people are rallying behind Valve's Linux Steam OS, it has a lot of limitations, and for someone who uses Game Pass, it's just a no-starter. It's just not good enough. Now, if Valve integrates Game Pass into Steam, now that's a game changer, right? Because at that point, I can natively install my games on Steam through Game Pass, and that works. But we're not there yet. But we will be. Microsoft has done compact modes for Xbox apps on Windows that are focused on improving the handheld experience, but it's a lot like putting a lipstick on a pig instead of addressing the core experience. Essentially, what he's saying there is, it's a band-aid, it's not a fix. He could have worded that a lot better, but obviously insulting Xbox is the way to go. I think we'll have a lot more to share later this year, teases Ronald. I'm looking forward to seeing where they're going with this because it's interesting and what it's going to actually look like. But this whole teasing stuff, they just need to get over it because they failed to deliver last year when they said that they'd have something to show us at the end of the year. So just be upfront. I think it's going to be a journey, and I think we'll see a lot of investments over time that you're starting to see already. But we'll have a lot more to share later this year. So maybe at the Summer Games Fest, well, Xbox is going to have their own showcase there, so maybe we'll see something at that point. I think that's going to be really the earliest we actually see something from Microsoft, so don't expect it anytime soon. I think at the end of the day, our goal is to make Windows great for gaming on any device, says Ronald. The reality is the Xbox operating system is built on top of Windows, which is what I was saying earlier. So there's a lot of infrastructure that we've built in the console space that we can bring to the PC space and really deliver that premium gaming experience on any device. Now, what I'm hoping that this actually entails is what they're alluding to say, and which is, in my opinion, the most important part, because this is the Xbox campaign which they've been going on with. The only time my Asus ROG becomes a true Xbox is when I can play my purchased, my full library that I can play on my Series X right now on these devices. Whether it's through emulation or through virtualization, I really don't care how they do it, but I want to be able to play those games. When I can do that, that's when it becomes an Xbox. Otherwise, it's just a PC handheld that can run PC games, and that's it. Specifically, Microsoft has to tackle a lot of very basics of making Windows more friendly to controllers and getting that Xbox experience to really drive things instead of the taskbar, start menu, and other elements. And on a smaller screen, Windows can be finicky, there's no denying that. Jason says there's fundamental interaction models that we're working on to make sure that regardless of the operating system details, it feels very natively like a gaming-centric device and a gaming-centric experience. And that's what they need to do. They kind of need to move away from that Windows interface, still provide a desktop option for those people that want it, a lot like Steam Deck does. I think Steam Deck has really done a very good job in leading how to do things. Windows Microsoft just needs to look at that, take a page out of their book and say, right, we will have a UI like the Steam OS for our games, and we can have that unified across all platforms. But if people want to get to the nitty-gritty of Windows, we have that option as well. Of course, the risk of that is it being hacked to hell, but that's something that they're going to have to tackle as it goes by. There's no real way around that. Ronald says the goal is to put an Xbox experience at the center, not the Windows desktop that you have today. So that's pretty much telling you that though it's going to have a Windows back end, it's going to have an Xbox front end at the front, meaning as a consumer, what you're going to see is Xbox. You're not going to see Windows, you're going to see Xbox. And all those pictures that you see of people posting photoshopped with Valve's, Steam on Xbox Series X dashboard or the S, whichever version you want to go with, I guess, and people are just mocking it. Essentially, that's the future. What you're going to see is a dashboard that is easy to use, and you just click on it and it works. All of the other stuff is going to be handled in the background, just like it would be with a console today. But essentially, this is their first leap. Now, we were waiting for something informative. I was actually really genuinely assuming that there would be a collaboration between Valve and Xbox, but that wasn't the case. They're still working kinks out. Steam is pushing ahead by getting Steam OS available apparently to all platforms as of March or April. I think it's April, which is a big move, and Microsoft now need to react to this because for something that they've been working on for so long, it's been 2 years now, and sure, Valve has had definitely way more time and in incubation and experience, but This is just another thing that Microsoft has started and is being beaten to the finishing line, and they really can't afford to do that. So though I was expecting for the summer, maybe we'll see something by the end of the first quarter to actually show this. I'm guessing they're going to be working day and night to try and get that to happen. But what this is telling me right now is what I've suspected all along, what you've all hoped for all along. The next Xbox console that arrives is going to be a hybrid. There's just no two ways about it now. With them trying to deliver this hybrid experience with the Xbox first, Windows second, and trying to kind of push that out more, there is absolutely a no-brainer that this is what it's essentially going to be. And I know you're going to have people saying, well, that would mean the death of Xbox. Not exactly, not entirely. You're still going to have an Xbox console. You're still going to have your day one games on Game Pass. As a consumer, nothing will change to you. What will change is the console wars. Because at that point, once you've got platforms like Epic and Steam on there, sure, Microsoft may get pittance from it, if anything, when it comes to revenue, but as a consumer, that shouldn't bother you anyway. This will mean that Microsoft no longer has to waste money trying to get exclusive like third-party deals, because at the end of the day, if it's working on Steam and Xbox is now running a full x64 Windows operating system with no real difference, you can't really block those PlayStation games running on there, and that seems to be the biggest feature right now that PlayStation fans are absolutely dreading, and it seems that that reality seems to be coming sooner rather than later. It's happening, and by the end of this year, we're probably going to see the final shape of what this looks like, and sometime in November next year, we are going to see the new next generation Xbox console. I suspect next year during the summertime, we'll probably get a reveal of what the console looks like, and then moving forward, the console will release with games like Gears of War E-Day, Call of Duty, GTA 6, Halo next. It's probably going to have its biggest launch it's ever had. It's going to be an exciting time, and if you're an Xbox fan, you're in for a good old ride. But you let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, and I will see you in the next one. I've said this all along, that the hybrid is the way forward. Originally I was mocked, then I was made fun of, but it looks like that is where it's going. And it looks like, as always, I was right. Until the next one, remain legend.